good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope everyone's having a good day so far. And today we're going back behind my Spotify this time around. We are going to be doing an album review of a band that I have loved since like 2016, 2017. That's probably around when I described them. And just before we get into reviewing the album, we're going to be reviewing an album. It's called Dopamine. It's by Normandie. Now, just before we get into talking about the album, I need to just, kind of like what we did with Citizen Soldier, I need to talk about their catalog just in general, because it's important. There is important context here, okay? So, my first introduction with them for an album, I don't know if it was Inga's. I feel like I heard the album last, maybe, possibly, I don't know. I think White Flag was my first album that I listened to by them, and dude, every album on, like, every single on these two albums, Inga's and White Flag, phenomenal. Phenomenal. I loved every single song they put on these records. They're just so good, and there's not a single bad song on these records. And then just not talking about these ones, but going to Dark and Beautiful Secrets, this is my number one album of the year for 2021. Not a single miss on this album. 10 songs. I feel like 10 songs is the perfect album length, but also, dude, Hostage is the best song on here. There's a lot of good ones, and this album was also made during COVID, so like I think Atmosphere is one that had inspiration, as well as like Babylon. There's like COVID inspiration there. I watched their whole like album documentary that they did for this album, which is really cool. And when I finished that documentary, they basically said our next album has to be completely different from this, which I don't know if I was a little nervous about that, because I was like, oh, if it's going to be completely different, I mean, like, they've kind of drifted away from making, like, heavy music to making, like, I don't know. They drift away from making heavy music to making, like, chiller, bumpier songs. I don't know if that's the right way to describe it, but this is why we're going to get into talking about Dopamine, which is their latest record. And I have a huge so if I had to rank all of the Normandie records, because there's only three, or there's four, sorry, but three prior to this one. At the top would be Dark and Beautiful Secrets. Number 2 would be White Flag. Number 3 would be Ingus. This would be number 4 in terms of ranking. This is my least favorite Normandie album by far, and I think, honestly, I only like half the album, and that kind of sucks, because again, when they said they were going to go in a completely different direction, I was going to be all on board with it. I thought I was, and then I started hearing all the singles that they dropped, and I was like, because I think my favorite songs on here are Serotonin, Blood in the Water, Ritual, Glue, and Sorry. I think those are probably my favorite ones. So that's like, what? That is 5 songs. So about half. I think Overdrive's okay. Flowers for the Grave is okay. There's a lot of just like okay songs on here that they don't really stick with me. I feel like this is a bit of a departure from what they normally do for their music, and I'm kind of hoping they drift back into creating a heavy sound. Maybe that's not what they want to do, but I think, that's I don't know. Philip Strand's grit with his voice is just phenomenal, and it makes the music so much better. That's why Serotonin's so good, Blood in the Water's so good. Like, I don't know, but I like his clean vocals too, so it's not like it's not like I'm dogging on his voice or anything. His voice is great. I love Ritual, you know, but it is my least favorite Normandie record just because, like, for example, Hourglass. It's a 5-minute song. It's the longest song on this record. It is so, I don't want to say boring, but it is simple for, like, the song. And it's also the first song with a feature, which is odd. And Bury Tomorrow's heavy, and for the random breakdown felt a little weird. I don't know. This record was very detached from all their other stuff. I feel like the first 3 records are probably like where old Normandy is going to be, and this is where new Normandy is going to be. But I don't know if they're going to keep doing this type of music. And also, this is also a concept album as well. Which, again, I love concept albums. I think this is a concept album anyway. It's the, there's, like, so many ideas in every single song, but, like, it is the idea of, like, dopamine, like serotonin, blood in the water, like, they talk about those things, but there's a huge concept to this album, and I think, I do think that, hopefully with their next record, which, will come out 2026 or something like that, maybe 2027 if they want to reinvent themselves again, but I do think they need to go back to that heavier sound because I think that's where they thrive and succeed. Like, clean vocals are fine to have in their songs, right? But, like, I feel like there's just so many throwaway songs in here, like Butterflies, Flowers for the Grave, Hourglass, I feel like are the songs that, I mean, obviously they got plays, but, like, I feel like they're the songs that felt the most safe and simple, but I'm hoping with their next record they do something different, like, from this. Maybe go back to their old roots, maybe try something that they've never tried before. I don't know. This just didn't really resonate with me too much, and also it was on my album of the year list for this year, but I took it off because I don't know, just my least favorite Normandie record, and there were other albums that took priority over this one for me in terms of what I felt like I liked more and what I would play more in the car. But yeah, man, if I had to give the album a rating, I think a 5 out of 10 is fair for this one, just because I did like 5 out of the 11 tracks. I think, like, there is parts of the album that are still good. It's like there's pieces of it that I still resonate to and I really like Serotonin and Ritual. I belt in the car. They're so good. Those are my 2 favorite songs. I think if I had to pick a top 2, if a top 3 would be Blood in the Water as well, but, like, they're so good, dude. They're so good. But anywho, I'm gonna call the video here. Thank you guys for watching. If you did, as always, I appreciate it a ton, and I will see you guys in the next video. And yeah, goodbye.